Morning guys, welcome to Vlogmas Day 3. Not the most exciting start to the day, the grocery shopping has just arrived, but I thought I'd show you it's a tale of two halves. So over this side we have our nice fresh meat and vegetables, which is all of the good stuff, thumbs up. Over this side, crisps, chocolate and fizzy pop. This is the not so healthy side of the weekly shopping. Naughty but nice. Okay, so boring chore of putting away the groceries is done. I'm now up in my craft room. My plan for today is to have a good old tidy up. I am completely ashamed of the mess that's in here at the moment. I'm not going to show you it at the minute, but I might do some before and afters, depending on how far I get. But before I get into the chore of tidying, I thought I'd chat to you about what I managed to achieve yesterday. So it was all about the socks yesterday. So first off, I think I mentioned that I wanted to start my scrappy socks from my Opal Advent calendar, but I couldn't find enough sock needles. And when I sat and thought about it, I know I've got a pair of 2.25mm Chalgoo needles somewhere that I bought at Wonderwall this year. Who knows where they are, but I couldn't find those, so I decided to pull off the pair of other Opal socks that I've got on the needles at the moment that I'm calling my pumpkin patch socks. When I pulled those out of the bag, I realised that I was halfway through the rib, so they're now off the needles. But what I did, just to make it easier on myself, is I finished off the rib, I knit a few rounds of stockinette stitch, and then pulled out the needle. So they're just stuffed in my project bag now. So hopefully when I come back to doing those, when I've got a sock needle free, they should be relatively straightforward to pick up. So that was the first job that I did. The second was to cast on my Advent socks, which was really exciting. Now, when I chatted about it yesterday, I didn't really have a plan in mind, but I've kind of decided what I'm going to do now. So I've got two socks on the needles. I'm going to knit them concurrently, and they're the same but different. So I'm going to use the minis in the order that they come out of the Advent calendar. So I decided to knit the cuff and the first 10 rounds of the leg in mini number 1, and then from here on out for the leg I'm going to knit 10 rows of each colour that comes out of the calendar, and then I should have enough left over from the minis to either make a mitered square and get started on the scarf that I am thinking about doing, or a mini sock if I get going on the sort of stocking bunting. So this is the first sock. So that was the obviously the nice red, orange and yellow colour that came out of day 1, and then grey for day 2. Now just to illustrate what I mean, the same but different, here is sock number 2. So you can see that they are from the same skeins, but I'm not bothering to try and match the pattern repeat or anything like that because I want to maximise my use of the yarn. But this one looks quite a lot different, particularly in that grey patch. So if I hold them side by side, there's not really any of the lighter colours in that one. So that's how they're coming up so far. I've just opened the Advent calendar day 3. So I am now ready to add in 10 rounds on each sock, which I shall do later this evening once I've got a few more chores done. After I finished working on the Advent socks, I went back to my sister's Christmas socks. So my sister's Christmas socks I'm keeping in this lovely bag from Loop and Bar. Kate has a lovely podcast, and she also has an Etsy shop where she sells all of her lovely creations. So for my sister's Christmas sock, I managed to put the toe in finished the foot and put the toe in on sock number 1. My sister has UK size 4 feet, so really tiny. So that is the first sock all done, and the second sock is well underway. Actually, I knit most of this morning while I was waiting for the shopping to arrive. So this morning I kitchened the toe on that one and cast on for the second. So this is probably about an hour or so's worth of knitting. So yeah, that's well underway now. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So I don't know how much knitting I'm going to get done today. As I say, today is going to be all about the tidying. It's quite nice to have a 2-day weekend. When we went to the Christmas party on Friday, I took Saturday off at the shop. I usually only take Sunday off. So yeah, it seems really nice and relaxed to have a 2-day weekend. I'm not sure how much else I will add to this video. Hopefully there might be some before and after shots as I tidy up, but I think it's going to take me a little while to get on top of things in here. It's become a bit of a dumping ground, so yeah, I need to crack on with that. There's yarn everywhere, there's project bags where I finished projects and haven't taken out needles and things like that, so you never know, I might find my chow goose. There's also some of the things that we've been using in the shop window display that need boxing up and putting away so that we've got them for next year. Through the summer we also keep this room as an area for drying our washing and boring things like that, but now the colder days have arrived. We don't really have heat on up here, so the washing drying needs to move downstairs, so I need to clear all that out. But yeah, I'll see how far I get. I'm not. So corner 1 is looking much tidier. I have cleared out all of the mess that was down there. I still have a couple of bits and pieces down there. So I've got my bag, which has got James's jumper project that I'm trying to get finished before Christmas. I've got a headband that I knit last year that I'm going to unpick because I'm not happy with the contrast values of the colour work, so I'm just going to rip that out and reuse the balls of yarn. And then I've also got my bag from Wonderwool Wales, which is sitting there looking ominous because I had hoped to use all of the yarn that I bought from Wonderwool last year before the next Wonderwool. There's only a few months left and that bag is still looking pretty full, so hopefully from the new year I'll be able to crack on with that. But before I go any further, I am going to take a bacon break. Next job is this big pile of yarn. A lot of it's come out of the corner that I've just tidied. It needs to be photographed and go into my stash on Ravelry. So while we've still got a little bit of light left here today, I'm going to try and get the majority of that done. So I managed to photograph all my yarn. It's in 3 bags on the floor next to me. I'm going to call it a day for today. Now I've got the photographs, I shall add it to Ravelry another day. I can do that anytime. It was just the having daylight to get pictures done. So I am going to spend the rest of the evening hanging out with James. I think we're going to do a bit of gaming and I shall do a bit of knitting. I'll be adding today's mini skein to the scrappy socks. I've also got a commission to do. I've been asked to knit a couple of dogs for someone for Christmas, so I've got the pattern, I've got the yarn, so I might start doing that this afternoon as well if I've got enough brain power. If not, then I will probably carry on with my sister's socks, or maybe go back to my Somerset versus Norway mittens that I started last weekend. Yeah, I'll just see what takes my fancy, I think. So yeah, I'm going to sign off for today. Thank you for watching, and with any luck I shall see you all again tomorrow.